This is Radically Alive Women's Edgecast.
Hello and welcome to Radically Alive Women Edgecast. I'm sitting here in our recording studio slash creation team space with the whole, not quite the whole, but with a majority of the Radically Alive Women Edgecast team. And I'm so glad to be here with you, Sebastian Norton, Mia Ruby Harrison, and Estefania Santamaria. It's become so clear that there's a way that the person that holds the interviews, like Annika, Korsten, and myself, Julia Neumann, that we're visible to the public. When so much of the creation of an Edgecast episode and the whole Edgecast itself happens behind the scenes, and the people that do other work and that is so essential, like you are, they are hardly seen. And so this is a conversation that we're inviting to witness and to show ourselves, to show the team. And so Sebastian is our audio wizard. Mia Ruby is our video sorceress. And Estefania is our outreach communication lover. And we have Annika Korsten as an interviewer, and Hannah Abouzahrah is still on the wider team for holding interviews. And the way this conversation is going to go is that we play ball with questions. So I'm going to start us off and I'll ask a question to one person in the team, and then the person answers the question and then asks another person the next question. So we're playing a conversation slash interview game. And as we're in Radically Live Women, there might also be interruptions as necessary or change of direction, or let's find out. My first question is to you, Estefan. And in the good tradition of Radically Alive Women, who are you right now?
Thank you, Julia. Who I am right now. I am a woman discovering what it means to be a woman. And yeah, really loving to be a woman, loving to have been incarnating in this earth as a woman. And this hasn't been like this always. So I feel sad about that, and I also feel glad to be in this form and discovering what this means, what I came to share in the world, where my gifts are. And at this moment, what I'm really embodying is my intuition and really trusting and hearing this inner knowledge that is somehow coming through me, and my sensibility. And this is something that has been, I feel sad because I have been rejecting for a long time. And now I can see how these are some of my gifts. And yeah, so right now I'm a woman in search of what she has to offer with this world and embracing herself and all the parts of myself. And there's a lot new for me to learn about myself, and that I'm discovering is every step, every little thing that comes to me is showing me a new thing. Every person that comes to my life, every experience is just like a path, a step on the wider picture of my life. And yeah, this is who I am today. I'm having the impulse to ask this question to Mia. Mia, who are you today?
Today, I am relaxing into my impulses and enjoying the sunshine, the trees, and being with friends and children and eating delicious food. And at the moment, I'm exploring a lot my pleasure and what is my experience of pleasure, which I am discovering is different every day, and it's such a compass that I can move from instead of using my head to make decisions and to decide where to go. And I'm more and more leaning in my life into making decisions from a place of what delights me and what turns me on and what is alive, really. And noticing how this doesn't have to come from pain, which is often a place that I've made choices from or pursued certain things out of trying to avoid pain. And I can also orientate from pleasure to move towards that and let it flow. So yeah, today I am allowing the pleasure of the summer and the joy of people and Gaia also to flow.
Thank you, Mia, for your sharing.
Sebastian, what is it like to be a man on the earth at the moment?
Yeah, it's easy for me to fall asleep in the sense of hmm. I
Will you let your heart speak, Sebastian? It's not in your head.
What are you feeling?
I feel scared that I should have something to say. I feel scared that I don't have something to say about that is worth saying.
And will you drop a level deeper with your heart?
I'm only recently, even with this question or this identity of being a man. So, how is it to be a man? Yeah, for me, it's not easy to identify with being a man or wanting to be what is presented to me as how a man should be or what a man is in growing up and in modern culture. And I feel sad that there's this part of me I'm disconnected from, I'm only starting to find connection with, and that I was walking with the belief that there's something wrong with being a man, that being a man is harmful or oppressive just for being, because patriarchy appears to favor and reward men. So I have so much a thing like I should answer this a certain way and I can't.
And you did answer it in your way. And what touches me is the realization how painful it seems. I can relate how painful it was for me from very early on to be in a woman's body or a girl's body at the time, because I could sense with all my cells that there's something off. And as a female in this general society, I'm just on the losing end of it. But then to hear you speak, Sebastian, is like, when you're a feeling man, you would also notice something's off here. And I don't want to be one of the people that suppresses other people, or, as a general gender. And I was touched in my sadness to hear you speak and to realize, wow, it's just as painful to witness people you love being sort of on the losing end, or for lack of a better word, but that's kind of the game that I saw growing up.
Thank you.
I have fun hearing you, Sebastian. Hearing your heart speak is fun because I can feel you then, and I can feel my own heart witnessing you also.
I have an impulse to ask you, Julia, how it is for you to have a team on the Edgecast today or right now.
It's everything. It's great. It's fun. It makes so much more than I could do alone. Not even just do, but your impulses, they open up total new dimensions for me. And it becomes a different being than if I'm just brewing on my own. And just being here with you, also noticing my fear of you maybe giving your center to me and waiting for me to do something, or give you permission to be raw in this conversation. And I'm learning how to teamwork in radical collaboration, really, on eye level. Also dropping victims, like responsible victim stories of, if I don't do it, no one will. It's like, it just doesn't grip. It's just not real. And so I'm on my personal journey with that. And I love it. I love the journey. And I love that you have a yes to be visible. And I love it that I have this piece now in my awareness that it's so necessary if I want to create a next culture creation. It just doesn't work if you're not visible, because that's the same old game. Thank you for that question.
I feel glad to also be on the team and to discover what it means to be in a team under this context of, as you said, radical responsibility, and what you mentioned about this fear of us giving the center away to you. This is one of my edges at the moment, noticing how I give my center away to certain people that I see as that they know more than me, or I don't think the word is authority, but representing some type of that they're in charge. And I don't have this with every people. There's also some, I'm just trying to feel if this is something that is coming up with you. And I don't think that it's as strong as with other people. And this is something that I'm learning for myself, to notice what information brings for me and why I'm giving my center away, what's behind that. And I've been so trained to fear authority figures or people that are supposed to be above me, that this is like an unlearning. It's like if I'm cleaning up, vacuuming that part of my brain that still sometimes that comes up, and I can notice it now and observe first, and then allow the information to come if there's something that I need to see at the moment about that.
Thank you.
I have a question for you, Estefania. What happens for you when you do have your center and you have your own authority? What is your life like?
I feel sad because I think this is something that I always had with me, but it's kind of if I had to hide it. So I will do the things that I wanted to do my own way, but in a way I will do it. It wouldn't be that transparent. It would be like if I needed to hide. So it's like if I was playing a game of I'm giving my center away, but at the same time, I know I'm going to do my path is my path, and I'm going to follow what I need to follow because I know it inside me. So I wonder how much energy I've been putting in playing that. It's like an unconscious game of, well, more like a survival strategy, a protection of, I need to do this to survive, but deep inside I know it's my life and I'm going to follow what I'm guided to. That is coming from something I don't really understand. And since I've been a kid, I remember being guided by something like I had these voices in my head supporting me and that helped me go through really tough things in my life. And at the time, I had no idea what it was. But now I know this is what has been guiding me to where I am today. And maybe to answer your question, this is what I'm exploring with this new awareness that I have of how it is to consciously have my center and move in that space where I don't need that survival strategy anymore to pretend that I'm doing something, but really going my own way. Now I'm free to go my own way without having to do all of that. And I still don't know, but yeah, it's freedom. It feels like freedom, like lightness, and it's exciting. There's so many possibilities in my life and I can choose what I want to do. It's my life. This is what I have for your question, Mia. Thank you.
Thank you.
I had something also, Estefania, or this is for everyone. I find it so fascinating, and I want to mention this here. This Edgecast is coming up 3 years. It has been existing for 3 years. And you have been on the team for almost a year, or definitely 8 months or something. And you are, just as I am, we are committing our free time. We're doing this because of the love of what we do. None of us gets paid to do what we do. And even in this context, the adaptation game happens and can happen. All these shadows can play out, as well as all the light that can play out. And it matters to me to say that this is a conscious game and we're giving our all and we're finding out how it goes to be human together in all our brilliance and with all that is there, also in the shadow. And yet when each of us keeps her center or his center, their center, what becomes possible is actual collaboration, where it's no longer my project, but it's your project just as well. And I see that happening in a lot of phases. And that's what excites me because I want it to be super personal. I don't want it to be about me. I want it to be about the creation that we care about and that I care about and that you care about. And from that place, the juice starts actually to flow of your wisdom coming into the space, Estefania, and your wisdom, Sebastian, and your wisdom, Mia Ruby, and the wisdom of Annika. And there's something else becomes possible. And I have a question to you, Sebastian. What do you know about that kind of collaboration?
The collaboration that is possible when each person is in their center.
Yes.
Yeah, the collaboration is very the word coming to me clean, which has some baggage, but it's quite direct and continuous and flowing. The communication around the collaboration, and the collaboration is very, each person slightly evolves the project or the proposal together, and it moves in a direction that is also being checked. Like each person is checking the direction of projects, be it an episode or an extra, like a distinction, anything we're bringing or doing a new introduction, like it's all checked within the purpose. Everyone is a guardian of the context. And so the collaboration is in a lot of ways quite easy. There's no worrying if I'm going to offend someone or that there'll be reactivity, and there's processes for when reactivity comes up.
I have a question for Sebastian. How is it for you to be in a team of women and yourself?
God, I'm really getting triggered by these questions.
What are you feeling?
Like scared. There's something about not belonging, not fitting in. Having some emotional fear about that. Both of your questions have been, in a way, separating me. Well, like I can turn it into I'm separate.
Can I rephrase the question and see if this lands on you differently? What are the qualities that you notice of the woman in the team that you're part of? Is there any qualities that stand out for you on the way we work or how we are?
Yeah, I see. For one, is the space and softness applied to check-ins, and how a check-in at the start of our meetings, at our weekly meetings, there's a lot of space given to the check-in and to each person, and not this pressure to get everything ticked off on the agenda quickly, and then if it doesn't, there's no pressure for people. Okay, well, everyone, we need to stay on and do this. I find a lot of ease, a quality of you women to have ease, and there's a mutual understanding that everyone's always at a different place in their life and their day and their week and their month. And there's this constant, I guess in a way, because of that, there's this forgiveness, or it's more like compassion. There's a shared compassion, and also such a fire for birthing new things. Fire and capacity for birthing new things.
I love also, Sebastian, how you bring, I witnessed you bring a quality of when something frustrates you or you notice, hey, I'm actually not excited about certain things. So what are we actually up to here? That you would shift and go, okay, what do I want to create? And your fire for creation and for enabling this creation of being part of the really of the structure and the necessary infrastructure that makes it even possible to bring this to life, to bring the episodes to life, but also technology and holding space for the codex and making sure we're actually connected to the core intention or the core purpose. And I also love witnessing how you, Mia, Ruby especially, and Estefania have really shifted over the last months with the transformational trainings you've gone through. You're holding so much more space and you're so much more taking charge and also saying, I don't know that I still want to do that. Maybe I want to do something different, and being honest about, yeah, this here turns me on and this doesn't, and I'm sitting with it and let's check. And I love that. I love that you bring it, and that informs the space, that informs what needs to evolve. Also, those pain points. So it's not always fluffy be pinky, but that you bring also the pain points for the evolution of this creation. And I think it's your turn, Sebastian, if you want to take a turn in asking a question.
Yeah, Mia, what turns you on the most about being in a position of creating empowerment for women?
I'm with also what you brought, Yulia, about the growth in, I'm not getting taller, but energetically I'm growing in this transformational work, transformational spaces. And I want to speak to my own empowerment, because what I am realizing is that the spaces and creations that I'm drawn to and that I want to be a part of, I feel my sadness, because what I really care about is for women to have access to spaces that are empowering and really for initiation, so that women can grow and grow into their full self, their bigness in the world. And I sense that this is such an old and ingrained pattern of women making themselves smaller and smaller for such a long time, to hide, to be safe, to survive. And that there's really this call on the earth right now for that game is over, and these spaces are so essential. And I really want to create bridges and create a doorway that particularly women can find these places where they can grow a bit bigger and take up a bit more space and experiment, play without it being the end of the world if it's a bit clumsy. And I'm really glad that this Radically Alive team is a space to play and try something new. And that's how we grow together, not by staying in our boxes and doing the same thing over and over. My question is for you, Yulia. What does it mean for you to empower women?
I was touched to hear your personal sharing of how it matters to you to be empowered and to empower yourself through going through these initiation processes. And I agree, it's similar for me. I'm on the journey. Like there's always more to find out and to be more in my power. And at the same time, I have also a sadness of knowing that when women are in their power, life gets to thrive. And I have this fire for that. I want women to take up space, and I want men to take up space who are initiated into adulthood. And from my own experience, I start with women because I relate to this experience in a physical body. And I also know that it doesn't end with women. I just know that when women are in their power, the whole community thrives, the men thrive, the children thrive. And it's really a game of more abundance, of more love, of thriving. And this is what I care about. I care about the beauty of humans as a species and our innate sacred task on this planet. And that is to birth life and to guard life and to make it more beautiful.
There's something coming to me by hearing you, Julia, and Mia speak from your heart. And it's the phrase that when there is love, there's always transformation. And this also came to me after listening to the last episode, and it took me on a journey of all these flashbacks of this transformation spaces that I've been in my life, and how the more powerful for me has been always when somehow the force of love is behind driving the And I can see how all this team, how this is behind the creation of what we're doing on this team, and on you, Julia, Sebastian, Mia, Annika, and everyone else involved in this creation.
What do you love about transformation then, Estefania?
It's fun. He's like as in the experiencing that there's so much more. There's so much more that what I think it is already. There's so much more possible, and so many doors that I can cross and other people could cross. That's what I love about transformation, the possibility of really embodying, like really knowing by experience that you can choose how you want your life to be. I can choose how I want my life to be today. And when I understand this from not a mental, because I heard this a lot, but when I understand this from my own experience, maybe this is where I felt I have my center. It's, yeah, like I can choose. And this is something, and I can be my own teacher. And that doesn't mean that going as a lone wolf strategy. It just means that I can take responsibility for my life and choose. And everything is a choice. Every moment I have the choice.
Does anybody have anything else to say? I mean, there's probably much more to say, but say anything that's bubbling.
Something coming to me of recently tapping into the power of giving feedback, and giving feedback on individual episodes has been like, I've really loved this. It's not this flow of here's the episode, now you edit it. It's like here's the episode, and then we've started listening to it together. Mia and I listen to the episode. We're like, okay, right. We write down notes for the editing and also notes to give feedback to you, Julia, or to whoever is holding space for that interview. And actively being a part of the evolution and the learning spiral of each of us as a team, and also the game world and what is possible inside an interview. So yeah, I feel really glad to have discovered this. And I think that this is a quality of an Edgecast and a quality of this Edgecast, which I feel glad about.
Me too. It's been such a shift in also the fun I have to get your feedback and your coaching. It's like this, okay, here I can learn with you. Listening party is what you called the last experiment. I look forward to being part of a listening party with you. I have a last question for each of you, maybe for all of us, to like, where do you want this to go? Do you have a longing or a vision or an anger, clarity for where do you want this creation to go? Where do you want to see this Edgecast in, say, 5 years?
I want to see the amount of interviews happening to increase, and I want to see a real diversity of episodes in terms of who is being interviewed. I want to see, in 5 years, I want to see series like here's 4 weeks of this topic. And even there's a possibility coming to me now, which is to have a compilation episode about a certain topic, like about money, for example, and then go through a few really key distinctions or moments from episodes related to money and have them in one episode as this recap episode to open doorways to those episodes for deepening, and also to offer new packages for people to find something in there, to find some treasure, because there's a backlog of old episodes, and I'm sure a lot of people coming in will just start with the top ones and maybe the next few, and maybe they're only listening every week. So it's coming to me now. And absolutely more people tuning in, more women tuning in, more men tuning in, and topics and conversations that are very relevant and salient to their lives. And I would love a lot of people going into liquid states after listening to episodes and then wanting to deepen their journey and finding the perfect episode for the edge that they're on. And the more episodes and more people there are, the more that will happen.
It's like if you describe, Sebastian, what I was seeing in my head when Julia asked the question. I closed my eyes and I saw a lot of diversity, a lot of women and people being interviewed and also listening. I just had these images coming to my head of exactly what you describe in words. And I would like also to, in the next 5 years, to hear more from the listeners as well, how they went into this liquid state is through the episodes, or how one episode took them in a certain path. As an example, myself, I will do the red 10 facilitator for listening to an episode, and I know another woman as well. And I'm sure there's much more of that. And following the track of listeners that had been touched and in a way changed by listening to an episode.
I want for this empowerment of women to keep expanding in the same way a garden does, with all this diversity and really having a life of its own, is that it doesn't just have to be edgecasts that pop up, but really, like, the Radically Alive Woman and the Edgecast is here for women to share their voice. And it could be that they share what they're offering to the world, what their gift is that they've come to the earth with, their story, their song, we can have concerts, we can have markets, we can have gatherings, can be all over the world for women to bring the message, bring the stand, the joy that they have about life, and that this is a space to uplift that.
I love hearing you all. I've never heard this before. So I'm glad I asked. Was there more, Mia Ruby?
Maybe we can have a movie?
Feature length.
Oh, yes. I'm in for that. Yeah, we will keep storming and creating. And I want to add I've never asked myself this question either. And one thing I want to see happen in the next 5 years, and sooner than later, is also replacing myself. The next person holds space for the Edgecast. And since there's the next creation, maybe the movie, and yet building out this network that I love already, and this is already woven in, that there are so many personal connections that connect the women and men that have shown up speaking on the Edgecast with us personally. And I want to see a convergence happening where everybody comes together and it happens in person, that we come together, and there could be almost like episodes but in separate rooms, and people come and you're interested in motherhood, well, you go into this room and there are all these sessions happening, and it's not really a festival, it's more like a summit or something, or a convergence where everyone who ever appeared on the Edgecast comes together, and whoever is interested and wants to experience these people in person comes together. I'd like that to happen in the next 5 years. And to be curious about the dynamic of where it wants to grow organically, and also with clear focus of reaching as many women and men as we potentially can. really making visible the amazing work that we're doing and the amazing creation that we're providing, and keeping it, I think this is the challenge, is to keep it at the edge, really staying on the edge and not grow comfortable there, and then it's no longer on the edge because we're in our comfort zones. Well, thank you for going to the edge here with me, taking me to my own edge as well. Estefania, do you have something to say?
Oh, I was going to say, I love the idea of this convergence. I could sit at a table and then people sitting in a circle and talking about the episodes and new ideas coming up. And my question was, is there any place that you envision it to happen? Is that in New Zealand or somewhere else in the world?
I think it's New Zealand, yes. The land of the long white cloud, Aotearoa. And it could happen, yeah, this is the first one of many in New Zealand. Maybe it becomes an annual thing or something, annual convergence.
Thank you. I love it.
Well, this is us for now. Usually there would be now one practice to share. You all know the drill. I don't think that's it for today. What I would like to close with is, what you're taking away from this conversation. Will you share one word?
It's more than one word, but letting your heart speak. That's what comes to me after this conversation.
Building bridges to initiation.
Organic evolution.
Appreciation.